Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Crime Country. As always, I am your host, Nick Barksdale, and today we are joined by a phenomenal guest, and that is Dr. Michael Aamodt, the creator and the mind behind the serial killer database at Radford University. And so, without further ado, Dr. Aamodt, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Oh, happy to do it.
Dr. Aamodt, as someone who reads true crime books, who watches an often satirized news feed relating to true crime, we see it all the time in cinema and on our TV screens at home, whether it's Criminal Minds or beyond. And so I have to ask, is serial murder common? How often does it actually occur?
That's a tough question because there's so many serial killers that are out there that we don't know about, right? So we don't, what we can really talk about is how many were identified. A couple of years ago, I got an interesting call from a reporter, and her question was, how many serial killers are there that you don't know about? And I almost fell off my chair, but I thought, if I don't know about them, I don't know. And she was very disappointed that I couldn't I couldn't tell her how many we don't know about. But we are limited to just those that have been identified. And if we look at, let's say, the previous decade, we've actually identified 207 serial killers in the United States that began their series from 2010 through 2019. So if we ask how common is it, well, 207 isn't really a lot, right? But how many are there that we don't know about? It could be about that many. It could be 10 times that. We don't know. But I've seen all sorts of estimates out there, and I don't know where these estimates are coming from. Because again, if you don't know about them, I don't know how you estimate them.
And so we've covered if we can answer how common is serial murder. And so I'd like to ask another question, and that is, if you had to guess as to how many serial killers are currently active in the USA, what would your answer be?
Again, that's a tough question because of the unknowns. But if we stick with just the serial killers that were identified, if we look at the previous decade, and we use that definition of two or more, there are 50 known serial killers that were active in a given year. So on average in the last decade, 50 that were active in a given year. If we kind of change the definition and go to three or more, it drops to 28. And again, that's kind of a floor of a number. The unknowns are going to really increase that probably.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for joining me on Crime Country as we went over the serial killer database, statistics, and so much more involving the true crime subjects that we are all fascinated and oftentimes terrified by. To all of my subscribers, don't forget to check out the links in the video description below. It'll take you to the database, serial killer statistics, and all of the awesome work that Dr. Aamodt is doing. Dr. Aamodt, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Oh, it's my pleasure.